there's some good news. And as you know, many of us were very worried about several title funds that our school districts had been expected that were formulaically distributed. It was top of mind for so many of us. And we're very pleased that you were able to announce earlier today that those funds have become unfrozen and will be quickly sent to school districts. So thank you.
Nice. Very happy about that.
My question is, if you can shed some light on how we can prevent these kinds of communications gaps or discrepancies in the first place, kind of how did this happen? Can you ensure that whatever the federal government is going to do in education, can we ensure that we kind of know it before, right? Because this is the biggest problem with this one is the school year, for many schools, they kind of start July 1st. As teachers are coming back like next week. How can we better communicate to make sure this chaos and uncertainty doesn't occur again around funding and that people know things earlier?
Well, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I've had the opportunity to meet with several of the governors one-on-one today, and I've enjoyed that very much. So thank you for your warm welcome and your hospitality. No guarantees for me that we'll eliminate all the communication gaps that do happen, but I can say part of it is just the transition aspect. The other aspect was that we took some time in the Office of Management Budget, took some time to really review the title funding, to look at all the programs, et cetera, before they were released. And so they were well satisfied. And so now those funds are going to be going out. I would think now we've reviewed them, looked at that process so that a year from now, we wouldn't find ourselves in the same situation. We appreciate that. So on page 34 of our report, we talk about consider a more effective federal-state partnership in education. And two areas that the federal government has played a very important role, and I want to get your thoughts on the role going forward, is making sure that we are truly making progress for students in two ways. One is, if we are measuring a metric of improving graduation rates, we want to make sure that one way that states can do that is not simply to dumb down the standards and make it easier to graduate. If we are looking at improving math scores, we want to make sure the answer is not you make the math test easier. So the federal government has been the fair referee in that process through supporting NAEP, through supporting strong standards development at the state level. The second piece of the federal government has played is universality, meaning everybody needs to be tested, everybody should be accounted for, we need to look at the progress of every student. How do we make sure that states aren't able to say, we got results up because guess what, this 20% of the kids we swept under the rug, or we don't know where they are, we didn't look at them, and that's across every demographic. So how do you lean into making sure that whatever form it takes, the federal government can play a constructive role in being that fair referee and making sure that every student means every student? Well, thank you for that. And we don't plan to make any changes in terms of eliminating those tests that are so critical. We've already renegotiated the NAEP contract, so that is going forward and ready to be implemented as you would have expected it would have been. I am pleased to say, though, that we did cut the cost of it quite a bit. So I think, a little pencil sharpening helped with that as well. So I'm glad about that. But the other testing that we'll be doing, there is some research that was going on that is not necessary. But in terms of the measurement and the outcomes and the accountabilities, that testing will go forward as the government's been doing.